Hi, I'm Valerie Vespa, VP of Brand Partnerships at Outfront Media. And I've got with me my lovely friend,
Hi, I'm Kim Curtis. I am a former Director of Marketing for Colgate-Palmolive.
So let's get into this 15-minute shtick here. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about what your tenure has been, how you got into marketing, and where you kind of sit today in terms of brand and your role and responsibility.
Sure. So I worked in investment banking and in internet for 2 years and 2 years, and then went back to business school and decided I'd try out marketing. I'd give it a summer internship and then figure it out from there. And 18 years later, I just concluded my career at Colgate-Palmolive. I have done a whole bunch of things, from running marketing for Colgate Total, for Irish Spring, and most recently running the whitening business for Colgate-Palmolive.
Well, congratulations. That is such a tenure. That's a massive tenure, and I'm sure they're sad to see you go. And I'm excited for what you have in store for your future.
Yes.
But just kind of talking from the brand side and the brand that you most recently worked with, I can imagine that globally, having that role as a global lead, right, that it would be challenging to sort of understand where whitening fits into each of the sort of different cultures globally. So can you share how you kind of worked on that and how you got that right?
Yeah, so it's interesting because here in the United States, whitening is a huge category. It is very well penetrated. People know about white strips. They know about pens. They are very involved. And I mean, it's funny actually globally, when you have white teeth, people kind of assume you are American. I actually was on the top of a church in Italy, and they said, "You have such white teeth, you must be American." And I was like, I am. I also work for Colgate, but
I was going to say your teeth are like amazing. Anyway,
but no, it was interesting because we thought that entering the other markets like the UK and Australia would be really easy because Crest White Strips doesn't exist, and there'd be a real big want and need for the product. What we learned was there was a few things that were a problem. One, people were very skeptical that the product would work. They didn't understand what white would be, so that either they thought it would be super white or not white, but they didn't quite understand how the product would work. And there was lack of awareness. So would they get the same thing from a toothpaste as a pen? What would the device do? And there were a lot of questions and a lot of disappointment because they hadn't been conditioned of like, what is white? And I think in the United States, there had been a lot of education that had been done on the category, what to expect, what white looks like, and things like that. And the whole education process wasn't there. So we were truly new entrants to the category.
So like in the US, for example, like you had to do, like what sort of immediate education did you do? Because obviously dentists almost became a big competitor set for.
Yeah, so so in the US, it was more, we were just competing against Crest White Strips. We wanted to make sure that we were better. We had clinicals that proved it. And we kind of sat between the dentist and what you could get from a toothpaste. So there's a very clear place in the market for us. There wasn't such a clear place in the market and around the world. So the dentists were a little bit worried that we're going to be taking business from them. People thought they were going to get the level of whitening that a dentist was going to give them and a bunch of other things. So we really had to educate on what the performance was they were going to get, and also that the dentist was really an ally to us and have them educate on having products for them, and also that we weren't trying to take any business from them.
So like with all this social chatter that you would kind of garner from different countries, like how did you creatively create better contextual relevancy, there's a lot of C's, in your creative and your messaging output to like ensure that there was like a clear message of how to use it?
Yeah, so what we saw was the ratings and reviews at the beginning were a little bit not as strong, and so what we did was we made sure to educate on what white looks like. We also educated the dentist on what they could get from these products, and also explained to the dentist that there's a person out there that wants to spend $250 or $500. That person will still go to the dentist. This is for the person that wants to spend $25 to $50. They want to get great results and better than the toothpaste, but maybe not go all the way to the $250 results.
So is there any particular, having been, at the company for 18 years, is there any particular campaign that you were especially proud of?
The Smile Out Loud campaign was really evocative. So what this one did was really they showcased models that had different smiles. They had missing teeth, they had gaps in their teeth, and really portrayed the confidence of the smile and the confidence of the
you
person.
Have to be perfect.
Yeah, like you don't have to have this perfect smile to be, out in the world or to be confident. You can really smile with your own teeth and your own gestures, but being yourself, and that is perfectly acceptable and something to be celebrated.
Yeah, no, now I feel a little uncomfortable because your teeth are so great, and I'm like, what did mine look like in comparison during this video? But anyway, I joke. So as far as a campaign like that, do you typically look to drive an equal balance between brand and performance marketing to get that across?
Yes.
Something that lives more on the brand side, and then you pair it with something else? How does that work?
Yeah, so we make sure that there's elements of the creative that are leveraged throughout the campaign so that there'll be definitely a cohesive nature to the key visuals and the key images. And then also make sure Smile Out Loud is the tagline everywhere, that we feature the creative that was leveraged in the media to be in the creative, and really celebrate the big brand idea, which is this idea of being who you are, celebrate the people that the campaign is based on, and really leverage that media throughout the campaign.
And so and also just from a consumer standpoint, are you trying to broaden the consumer base, or is it everyone, or at this point, or
No, so actually we've done some segmentation, and I think what we're really looking for is a person that's using the toothpaste or the whitening devices for themselves. So there's the more collective, I want an all family toothpaste, that's not that person. Mm-hmm. This is a person that's looking for a new job, a new way to stand out. Maybe they just got divorced, but how do they want to make sure that they really leverage that for the confidence that they want to build within themselves, and really leverage that, this is a little splurge for myself rather than something for the whole family.
So having sat through some of the conference today, are there any takeaways, new or old, that you're kind of interesting marketing trends that you're seeing in this space right now that are popping? I know we kind of briefly talked about AI, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see the pitfalls of AI and people leveraging, yes, it's great. You can customize, you can have a contextually relevant person for each demographic or each campaign, but there's also a lot of checks and balances because it's not where it needs to be yet, and you could end up with somebody that really doesn't represent your brand being part of that. And I feel like it's sort of a good reminder that AI has gone to certain places, but I feel like leveraging in creative is just a dangerous place to be.
I know. Yeah, there's certainly swim lanes that need to be kind of created, and it's at least it's nice that everyone knows that they're all learning and nobody has answers yet. Yes. So at least we can admit to that, but it is a little scary. Do you as far as being in the CPG space, do you feel as though it is getting harder to sort of measure, understand audiences, and then measure effectiveness of marketing campaigns? Did you feel that challenge and squeeze?
Yeah. Well, I think it's hard because we do marketing mix and all these different vehicles, but I do feel like it's more of an art than a science, because in a lot of cases you're leveraging 4 or 5 different tactics to be leveraged at once. There's a lot of attribution questions over, how much top of the funnel and bottom of the funnel really makes a difference. And I feel like also, while the top of the funnel work may not be as high a return on investment, if you don't have that, you're going to have to spend a lot more on the bottom of the funnel kind of tactics. So
right.
I feel like there's the short term, you got to convert, and the bottom of the funnel is really what works. And then there's the more broad picture media message, brand campaign that really drives your equity, and that's also important.
Oh my God, today Ashley Shapiro from American Eagle, she said, the top of the funnel is like taking your vitamins.
Yeah.
And then the bottom of the funnel is like the crack, and it's like you can't do one. Like one is not as interesting, and then the other you not fully, solely, base your plan on, because obviously we know what happens when people do a lot of crack, which was kind of a funny, ridiculous. So as far as what you have in store for yourself, like are you consulting right now and working on what your next gig is going to be?
Yeah, I'm doing some consulting for a brand that's doing kefir soda. So
Nice.
they are out in California and are entering. They've been growing through farmers markets and are entering the retail space. So I'm working with them, and
That's
I
incredible.
feel like it really, first of all, the product's amazing, but also the fact that it's really good for your stomach and good for your probiotics and stuff. So I feel really excited about what I'm working on, and then see what else is out there.
I'm so excited for you. Like your face just lit up talking about it, and I think that is, a great way to end.
Yeah.
It's really about, change can be great because it kind of gets you excited about new things, and that's great. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.